Good morning. My name is Benjamin Sanchez, and I'm an attorney in Houston, Texas. I represent consumers, tenants, and homeowners during life setbacks to help them move forward. Welcome to another edition of Coffee with Law. Have you or someone you know ever had a debt collector contact your family, friends, or boss regarding your debt? How has that made you feel? Well, today I will discuss with you exactly what a debt collector can and can't do in terms of communicating with a third party. This topic comes up often and is why it is one of the first topics of debt collection I want to discuss in this series. In fact, Richard Alderman, who is the former associate dean at the University of Houston Law School, known as the People's Lawyer, was my consumer law professor during law school. Not only was he my professor, but I was his research assistant for his publication when he was actively engaged in teaching people to become lawyers through law school. I have been passionate about consumer law my entire career. And in fact, on page 89 of his book, he talks about this very issue. One of the things he does in this book, Know Your Rights, is he talks about common questions that people have regarding different aspects of consumer law in Texas. And on page 89, the question that he answers is this: can they tell my boss, referring to debt collectors and creditors? And his answer is that you may be protected. So I want to go over a little more detail about what that means. Now, a debt collector is someone who is collecting debt on behalf of someone else. We are not talking about creditors who are trying to collect their own debt. So, for example, if you have a Citibank credit card, and Citibank is the one that's doing its own collection with its in house collection people, some laws will not apply to Citibank in that situation. However, if Citibank hires a third party, a debt collector or a debt collection agency, to go try to collect that debt on behalf of Citibank, then those people are considered debt collectors, and that's where federal and state laws come in. On the federal side, we have the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. In Texas, we also have the Texas Debt Collection Act. So, what can a debt collector do now that we know we're talking about a debt collector? What can a debt collector do to try to talk to other people about your debt? In the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, it is possible for a debt collector to contact other people. The way they can do that, however, is restricted, and what they can say and why they do it is also restricted. Basically, without going into all of the variances, a debt collector can contact your family, friends, or boss to find out where you are, basically searching for location information about where you live. And under the Debt Collection Act, under the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, I'm going to just go over a few of the rules here. When a debt collector is contacting third parties, meaning not you, regarding your debt, they can only do it in order to acquire location information, but they have to identify themselves and they have to confirm or correct. They basically have to tell the person that they're calling that they're trying to confirm or collect um, location information regarding you as the consumer. And only if the person they call asks for their employer, may they then give their employer's name. Furthermore, they cannot state that you owe any debt. Additionally, they cannot communicate with that person more than once unless they're requested to do so by the person they called, or they believe that somehow that the earlier response of that person is erroneous or incomplete, and that that person that they called now knows correct or complete location information about you. They also cannot communicate by postcard with those third parties, and they cannot use any language or symbol on any envelope for any mail that they may send that indicates that they are a debt collector and that they are in the debt collection business, or that the communication that they're sending relates to a debt. So if they communicate by mail with third parties, they can't make it seem like they are a debt collector or that they're contacting that person about a debt. Furthermore, and most importantly, after the debt collector knows that the consumer is represented by an attorney with regard to that particular debt, then they can no longer contact other people other than the attorney unless the attorney fails to respond within a reasonable period of time. And this is why, again, I keep coming back to the fact that even though it may seem like a little bit of money, and I understand that times are hard, but hiring an attorney will help you so much because, as we talked about earlier this week, not only does hiring an attorney help prevent those calls to you, but they also prevent communications to other people once the debt collector knows that you have an attorney. So again, it is very important that you understand that yes, debt collectors can contact third parties, but they can only do it for the limited basis of collecting or correcting location information. At the very least, if you give them your correct location information and you do that in writing, then that should obviate the need for the debt collector to contact other people that you know. So whether you do it yourself in writing by certified mail or you hire an attorney to do it for you, the sooner that you can get the debt collector to know where you are, then the sooner that those calls to other people will stop. Furthermore, as we discussed again yesterday, the sooner that you tell them in writing to not contact you by phone or other people, you give them your correct information, then those phone calls to you will also stop. So the answer to the question that we posed today is that a debt collector can indeed contact other people, but only for location information, and they can only do it in a particular manner. I hope that these videos have been helpful for you, and if they have, I would encourage you to follow, like, and share these videos so that other people that you know can get the benefit of these videos and the things that I discuss. I will be back tomorrow with another facet of debt collection as I spend all this week on debt collection. Next week, we look forward to the issues of foreclosure. Thank you and have a great day. Bye-bye.